Hello, I'm Julian Malnic, and in the studio with me today is Alex Underwood, Managing Director of Empire Energy Group. G'day, Alex.
Hi, Julian.
It's been for shareholders, but you could say it's been a bit of a long, slow wait to get where we are today, but things are on the move now with Empire.
Absolutely. Over the last 18 months since I joined the company, I've been really focused on repairing the company's balance sheet. And I'm very pleased that that process has come to a successful conclusion very recently. Now we're in an exciting new phase where we can focus on growth.
So you're out of the United States and you're into Australia. Is that fair to say?
Well, we've sold some of our US assets. We're actually keeping some gas production assets that are cash flow positive and which have substantial shale upside in their own right. But certainly our focus now moving forward is in the exciting Beetaloo and MacArthur shale basins in the Northern Territory.
Of course, the interesting thing with Empire Energy was that its US origins connected it with the gas revolution in the United States, which it is now has been a leading player in recognising this new potential in the Northern Territory. We hear words like vast and enormous about the Beetaloo and MacArthur basins. It's early days. How do we know it's so big?
So it's early days in the commercialisation of these basins, but it's not early days in the exploration phase. So lots of exploration wells have been drilled, both oil and gas and minerals wells, and they have demonstrated that there's a very, very substantial resource in place. The Northern Territory Geological Survey has a gas in place figure of over 500 trillion cubic feet of gas in one of the shale zones alone, the Velkerri. Now the industry is moving into an exciting new phase, which is to appraise these major discoveries and look to achieve commercial flow rates.
Okay. Now, you've got finally approval for seismic. You're in action on the ground now. Has the Northern Territory, is it supportive? And obviously, there's going to be some activism around hydraulic fracturing, fracking, which is an important part of this phase of development. How does that present for Empire? Does it impede you? Are you handling it? How's it going?
So there is community concern around the technology of hydraulic fracturing. This is a technology that's been in place for over 70 years. 2 million wells have been hydraulically fractured in the US since then, and a lot around the world. The Northern Territory government has taken a very appropriate approach to this, which is that they carried out an inquiry that made recommendations, and then those recommendations...
So you're fairly confident?
Yeah, absolutely. The regulatory framework is in place. The Northern Territory government is supportive of our industry, and we're getting on with the job.
And of course, it's a huge asset for Australia, isn't it? This possibility of having liquid fuel self-sufficiency, a field as big as any that we've had discovered in Australia. It's certainly a brand new discovery, and we've got major players in the field. What are they up to?
Yeah, so there are a number of companies active in these basins, but the two biggest companies are really Santos and Origin. They have committed hundreds of millions of dollars to appraising some discoveries they've made. Origin's actually already started drilling their first well, which is called Kyalla 117. That's a very exciting development. Then they'll be drilling a second well, which is actually coming right towards our tenements, to test the liquids-rich window of the Velkerri shale, which is a key target in our tenements. Santos have also made some major discoveries. They are in the immediately adjacent property to us, and they'll be drilling 2 hydraulically fractured appraisal wells just over our back fence next year. So we are the first junior company getting on with seismic, so that's a program that's already underway. And then the heavyweights are coming in with their big appraisal programs next year, so this year and next. So lots of news flow and lots of exciting developments.
And I guess the headline, in a tight shale, the shale acts as both the source and the trap rock, if you like. The seismic is to demonstrate the continuity from right across your area and the connectivity, and also has, I think you were saying it marries into the surveys done on tenements next door, correct?
That's right. So we already have evidence that the Velkerri shale is coming into our tenement at depth and thickness that's ideal for petroleum development. That's through a few things. Santos has already done some seismic, which is now an open file. There's an old mineral core hole in our tenement that shows that we're in the Velkerri down to its target depth of 400 metres. So what our seismic program will do was really to demonstrate the depth, thickness and lateral continuity of these shales into our tenement, which will inform future exploration and appraisal programs.
So it's really defining a 3D volume of rock, and from there you can appraise how well it's going to make gas. So that's that program's closing now before the wet?
Absolutely. We'll have that program finished before the wet season, and then that'll allow us time to work out where to drill our next exploration well, which should be next year. So exciting time.
So watching the corporate restructure for the shareholders might have been like watching paint dry, but certainly now you've got something real, as you call it, boots on the ground, real action. So watch this space. Is that the message?
Absolutely. We really appreciate the patience and loyalty of our shareholders as we've got on top of some of the issues we were facing, and now we've really set a clear pathway for growth, and we're very excited about being able to deliver strong returns for our shareholders.
Well, great. Good luck with that.
Thanks, Julian. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Cheers.